What's up my loves, my name is Paige, this is Paige the Page, and today we're going to be talking through my goals for 2025. Hello my loves, welcome to this video. I'm so excited. I am genuinely so excited for my 2025 goals. So I want to talk through what they are, what they're looking like. I do have an abundance of reading goals and I'm okay with this. For the past couple of years, each year I've fine-tuned it a little bit more because I found that I got to the end of the year and I was stressing my balls over these reading goals because none of them overlapped nicely. So for this year, I think I've done it. I think I found the perfect balance between all of the goals that I want to achieve and also feeling accomplished in my reading. Because I love setting these goals. I have so much fun with it. I also kick myself up the ass every time I don't complete one particular goal, which is making another reappearance, but it's fine. So I want to talk through these goals with you and then also ask for your advice. So let's have a look-see at what they are. I usually separate these into bookish goals, side quest bookish goals, community challenges and side quest community challenges, and then I'm gonna do my life goals instead of channel goals. And I don't have to complete all of these. There's, you know, nothing holding me to it. It's just ways that I want to guide my reading. And I've run out of room in the reading journal that I've been using for the past 4 years. So I'm just probably going to keep it digital this year. So I won't be having any like little ticker boxes, but that's okay. So with my reading goals, my first reading goal is to read 52 books, which fingers crossed will still be achievable. I do really want to slow down my reading, so I want to read 100 books, but I want to not be listening to every book on 3 times speed. I want to be able to feel confident to read books without audiobooks again, and if I want to just put my audiobook in and listen to it quickly while I'm doing other things because that's the kind of book that it is, sure. But if it's a non-fiction and I actually want to sit and take my time with it like I did with Life Worlds, then I want to be able to feel confident in doing that in my reading. So 52 books, usually stretch goal of 100, but I really genuinely don't mind either which way, as long as I still make time for reading. That is my highest priority. So with that, my second goal usually is a page goal, or read 60% plus over 300 pages. And I've decided to say fuck it. My goal, and I will break this. I will probably break this in January, I'm not gonna lie, is to have monthly TBRs. Cluedo, because it's bi-monthly, I'm more than happy to have that be a bigger stack, but as long as it still separates and I still have enough wiggle room. But my monthly TBRs are to be between 4,000 and 4,500 pages. If I read more, fine, easy done, love it, good on me. But the books that I have set is 4,000 to 4,500 pages. I got this from Nicole from Noteworthy Fiction. I believe her TBR, she goes until she hits 3,000, 3,500, and I definitely have a little bit more wiggle room, which works out to be about 50,000, yeah, 50,000 pages for the year. That's that. I don't know if I can stick to this. I may fail this goal very early and I'm gonna be lenient with myself. It's just, I know the higher that page gets, and then when I'm looking at how many pages a day I have to read, I jinx myself out of it. But I also know that if I don't put a lot in and have a high goal, I just won't read anything either. I'll just read the bare minimum and that's it. So that's where I'm a little bit stuck, but also I would like to do a lot more randomized vlogs and things like that. I'm not going to be able to know what those are, so this is also giving me the wiggle room for that as well. Number 3 is series, and these have sub goals as per usual. My first is to reduce my 2024 and before series spreadsheet by 25%. If I start all the series, I read all the books that I have intending to read by the end of the year, I will be sitting at 78-ish ongoing series. The reason I say that is I have Throne of Glass, House of Sky and Breath, and ACOTAR all on there. I want to read the Throne of Glass series before I continue on with the ACOTAR, and then before I continue on with House of Sky and Breath. I might not even continue on with Crescent City series. I might decide just to DNF it. But I have enjoyed the ACOTAR series and I haven't read Nesta's book, and I read the first book in the Throne of Glass series and actually really enjoyed it. So I'd like to continue on with that at least. But that's why I say ish. It's also, I have books on there that don't have books coming out till 2025. So are they going to go on my 2025 series or do they go on my 2024? So that's how I've just given myself a little caveat. But 25% of 78-ish is 20 series, which I have struggled to hit this year. So I'm just like, oh, okay. Just did the math for that. Didn't realize that that was that, but it's okay. I also do have my little jar, the scrolls, the series. So if I continue to read these, I can actually start doing the vlog series of reading the series I'm in the middle of and finishing those. So that would be really, really exciting, and sort of randomizing it, giving me a little bit more motivation. The second goal is to continue on the series I'm really excited to continue with. I read Only a Monster by Vanessa Len, Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, and The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso this year, and really adored those series and wanted to continue on but couldn't make it fit into my TBR, or just knew I had to hit other reading goals first. So I just want to make it predominant in my face, going, hey, continue those series. You're so excited for them. Keep going with them. And the third sub goal is when I start a series in 2025, I need to read both book 1 and 2. And that's for that continuing on for the ones that I'm excited for. If I start a duology, it means I finish it, which goes towards the, well, that doesn't go towards the 20 ongoing series, but it makes me feel more accomplished. So I think there might be a little bit of friction saying my 2024 and prior series, so I may end up rejigging that at the midpoint of the year to say just my series spreadsheet overall, so including the 2025, to be bringing it down as much as I can. But because I know I'm adding it, I just wanted a concrete number. We'll see how that shapes up. I know that Jacqueline for Bookish Peeps has asked to read Terrier by Tamora Pierce, so I will need to read Terrier and then Bloodhound as well. And then, like, you're almost at the end, you might as well just read Mastiff. So that's where I'm sort of like trying to propel myself to continue on, and it's the same reason. The Obsidian Tower, I haven't been able to pick up the Quicksilver Court. I wanted to read the second in the Bone Shard Daughter series, didn't get to it. So making it a priority, my series, I need to read book 1 and book 2 unless I decide to DNF the series after the first book. That is completely fine. I will not hold myself to having to read the second one, but if I decide that I want to continue on with the series, I'm continuing on with the series. I think, fingers crossed, this should all tee up itself okay. Reading goal number 4, category, is Bookish Peeps. To read the challenge books that have been selected for me. I have so many interesting choices for this year. I am so excited to get into these. There are so many interesting prompts, so many interesting books. Ellie Mine is going to kill my soul, and I want to continue to read them. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to read them. Honestly, they all feel achievable. I just have to do it. Then category number 5 is going to be my 2024 and prior book haul. Usually you'll hear me say in my goals video, oh, my 2024 and then my 2023 and my this. No, 2024 back. We're starting a clean slate for 2025. I want to reduce my TBR by 25% for that group of books. My collective total for Ashes and Mine is sitting at 208. I'm hoping to read another 9 books off of it, and I'm going to unhaul 1, which will take us down to 198, which just, I'm now so motivated to read because I want to get this down under 200 books by the end of the year. But reducing that by 25% would be to read 50 books from our entire collection down. So I'm aiming to get it down to 148. I think it's doable. I think it's doable. My personal TBR is currently sitting at 175, bringing it down by that 10, 165 hopefully by the start of the new year. So I need to reduce by 42. So my personal TBR, I need to reduce to 123 books by the end of the year. I think I can do it. But that's where this beast comes in. It is bigger than my head and only cost me 10 bucks. This is the last frugalist purchase I can make because you'll hear in my life goals why. But this is the entire TBR. I'm very excited. I'm going to do the Bookshelf Ultimatum. I'm going to do the Read It All Unhaul series. And I'm continuing to put the priority on my physical TBR because if we need to move, I need to read a lot quickly. And then I think maybe in 2026 and onwards, depending on how we go with reading it down, I'll start focusing on my Kindle and audio library that I have accrued. That's that jar. And then the second goal for my 2024 and prior hauls is I want to read my oldies. So this year I've made so much progress in chipping away at the ones that I hauled before I started my channel, essentially. But I didn't have a goal for it, and I'm gutted because my 2020 to 2023 book haul goal looks very sad. I've read a lot from there as well, but I've read the even older stuff, and because I didn't have it as a goal, I can't count it in reading down the TBR in that sort of goal capacity. So I'm just like, oh, that's shit. And so I want to read my oldies. I have 49 books left on my shelves that I have hauled before 2020. That is nuts. They have been on my TBR for over 5 years. I don't care how long a book sits on my shelves. It's genuinely fine. I have such eclectic reading taste that it's all good. But I have 49 and I want to read quite a few of those. The predominant ones I want to read are Tamora Pierce, who lives on this shelf, which is great because Jacqueline has asked me to buddy read Tamora Pierce and potentially continue on with the series, so this works perfectly. The Septimus Heap series by Angie Sage. I think I have another 4 books in that, and they're quite thick, and I know that I'm probably gonna unhaul them once I've read them. They're a glorious middle grade read and such a fun time, but I don't feel the need to hold on to them, but I do want to read them. So I'm gonna read them and get them off my shelves. And the other is the Lords of Magic series by Michael Breyer. I think I have 3 more books in that series as well. Again, a really fun time. I really enjoyed the series and I just want to continue on with it, but I haven't because I didn't put my earlier book hauls as a goal, so then I prioritized the other things, but then it prioritized some of the earlier ones back. Those are some series that I would love to start and finish with Tamora Pierce and just read those off my series spreadsheet as well. So I think it's possible. So we're tying everything together and it all seems to have worked quite well. So those are my 2020 to prior book hauls. Category number 6 is my book buying. My first goal, I have a budget of $600 for the year. This is really stressing me out just thinking about it. My goal previously was $1,200. I can't remember if I lowered it to $1,000 for this year. I haven't come anywhere near that. I'm currently in December and sitting at $300 and something. $600 is feasible. But having that as the goal makes me shit scared because it's like, well, now what? Yeah, you know you don't spend that much money on books anymore, but what if? How do you know? Bitch, I'm looking at buying a house. I can't afford to have my book budget be more than $50 a month. But I can do this. It's one of those knee-jerk reactions where I'm like, no, you can't spend this money. I'm like, well, I want to. And so I'm like, bitch, prioritize. You can do this. So if anyone could like cheer me on in the comments with this particular goal, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you see my book hauls are absolutely tiny or they are exorbitantly large because I've gone to a library book sale to satiate that craving and spent $4 on like 30 books, just know that that's where that's coming from. Yeah. It's like I can build the itch already, but I still have so much shit I've got to read. My next component of that is I'm stepping it up. Watch out, world. I need to read 3 books off my TBR to put 1 on. So normally I have this at 2 off to put 1 on. I think I can do 3. I don't know where we're currently sitting for this year, but with moving with all of this potential shit that's going down, it's okay. I don't need to bring them in as quickly. I can just read my shit. I don't have to buy things. I can read down my shelves first, which is why I think the massive jar is going to be great. The next component is 50% read to unread for 2025. I am completely fine if I'm currently reading a book and I go, I want to own it. This happened with the Obsidian Tower, it happened with the Winners, it happened with Raiding Sweetgrass. I was reading the book, library copy and audiobook, and went, I need to physically own this. So I bought it. I'm completely fine with that. It then put me at read as I was going, and it was really, really refreshing because I'd already read it by the time, or was in the process of reading it, and could mark it off as read in that month straight away, and it felt really, really satisfying. I've also put for my next goal to do the $1 for every 100 pages I read. Not sure if that's going to be a physical possibility this year. Technically, I just keep an eye on it and see how they end up factoring each other out, and I don't actually do anything with the money, so I can keep it in just for that sake. But yeah, I don't know how much free cash I'm going to be able to just chuck in a jar. And then the last component is to utilize my library more. I have Libby and a glorious conglomerate of cards thanks to wonderful people. I have a beautiful library that I work at that has a great selections of books that I want to read. Every time I go in, I'm like, oh, I want to read that. Oh, I want to read that. Oh, I want to read that. I want to let myself lean into that a little bit more. Not a grand amount, but if there are books that I want to be reading and I don't own them, source them first. And then if I'm reading them and want to own them, fine. Also factoring into the fact that I don't have the kind of disposable income to just throw at it. But if I want to, I can. Or I can put it on my wish list and ask for it for my birthday or for Christmas. Those are completely viable options. So I want to utilize my library more. I think that will really help in scratching that itch as well, and just reading down my TBR that I have and adding into it at a slower pace. I am really, really happy with how my book buying is for this year. So I'm not too worried if I can continue on the same way. I just know that when I'm stressed, I like to shop. And so many new releases are coming out next year that I'm like, oh shit. But I can do it. I believe in myself. We can do this. Those are my main priorities, the big things, the ones that I really want to be mindful of. My bookish side quest, I have 4. One is to continue to read 1 book off my scratch amount. It's getting harder because I don't have that many there that I want to actively read now. But Eliana's book challenge will probably have something on there that will suit. So if I manage to read one of those, I probably will be able to check it off the scratch amount. I'll be strategic in what I select first in the hopes of getting that completed to scratch that off. Number 2 is I want to read the non-fiction I'm excited for. So I set a goal to read 6 non-fiction or participate in non-fiction November, and I tried to participate in non-fiction November. I just got a little stumped, just a little bit. But there are so many exciting non-fictions that I have wanted to pick up and just haven't. I've got Word Slot on my TBR. I've got It's Not Okay to Feel Blue and Other Lies. I'm interested in Indestructible. And then looking at the Goodreads non-fiction this year, any of the female medical I was fascinated by, so I want to dive into those as well. There was one that was Mona Chalet, I can't remember, In the Defense of Witches. I want to read that. There are so many interesting non-fictions that I do want to pick up, but I just don't because it's a non-fiction. So, or I'll go for the ones that I've owned the longest, even though I'm not as interested in the subject matter anymore. It's just taking that little extra time to go, actually, I want to read this instead. Number 3 is to finish my rainbow shelf. I literally have next to it, come on, I have 3 left. It's been haunting me for the past 3 years, this rainbow shelf. I have 3 books. What's a Girl Got to Do by Holly Bourne that I thought I was going to read this year. Attempted to, but it doesn't have an audiobook, so I got scared and ran away. On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, and Emmy and Oliver by Robin Benway. That's it. They're all YA. They're all very quick reads. They're all by authors I have loved. Y'all, I'm ashamed of myself. I think I just need to schedule in 1 month that I go, right, it's time. Again, it's a side quest, so I don't have to do it. I don't have to prioritize it. But at this point, it's just goddamn silly that I haven't. And What's a Girl Got to Do is going to get me one of those series. It's going to be backlist, like my 2019s. It's one of my oldies. Reading down a series, finishing off the rainbow shelves, just do it. And then number 4 is to read my Shelf Destruct. So I didn't end up reviewing my Shelf Destruct for this year. It hit the time and I couldn't be bothered. And it feels silly, but I just didn't prioritize making the video and reacting to it. I know that a lot I unhaul, but I have 3 books that I haven't unhauled that I have saved. The Gilded Wolves, which I didn't talk about because it was a St. Martin's Press title, so now I can actually read it. And I know that Cara loves the series, so I want to read it for her as well. And I'll have to continue on with it. The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. Perfect. Danielle's picked it for me for my bookish peeps. Excellent. We're reading this. And on top of that, I will then continue on with the second book in the trilogy. And finally, The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Most people voted for me to keep this, and I am just struggling to get into this. If it comes out of the jar and I do not read it, I'm going to unhaul it. It's just one of those books I haven't been able to get into. I've DNF'd it 3 times, and I either want it off my shelves or I want it read. I need it done. Those are all my reading, personal, bookish relations. Then I have my community challenges. I have a significant number. Actually, I think I have the same amount as last year. I've just rejigged it. Anyway, I've got 6 community challenges that are going to be my focus. The first is BookStara. We will be reading the Foundertide trilogy and the Part of Your World trilogy. So I want to stay on. I want to be involved in it. I want to show up to the live shows and have a fabulous time. Number 2 is Bookemon. I want to continue. I have done most all of the prompts for this year except the mythical ones, which broke me just a wee bit. I need to continue on with that, and that is created by Reading Webmap. Number 3, if G does Orilium, The Adventures in Adelia again, I would like to continue participating in that. It was pretty easy to make things work fairly well for my reading. Number 4 is TBR Knockout, and I want to make sure I'm reading. I'm pretty sure I've read all off of my shelves this year. There might have been 1 or 2 that were an exception, but I want to continue to knock off the TBR. Number 5 is Buzzwordathon, and I've gone in and searched my TBR for every month and already put in a book. It doesn't have to be that book. I'm more than happy to change my mind, but I've gone through and checked and seen what fits for different things. It's quite a lot of non-fiction, which is exciting and nervous, but also a lot of my oldies, so I'm really happy with that. And then number 6 is the Sufferathon year-long challenge. I'm not 100% sure what order these videos are coming out in. I think this should have been announced the weekend just gone, and you will be getting the January prompts in the next 3 to 4 to 5 days. And I want to actually do it as well. I think it's going to be great. I obviously know the outcomes of my choices, so I can plan strategically and not get fucked up the ass. Y'all cannot. I would love to, I don't know, I think I'm going to just keep it to the monthly layout, but if I feel like throwing a little bit of chaos into the vlogs, I might do a vlog that has where the die picks my reads. So maybe if we get to June, I can do like a vlog where I'm reading 6 books, hopefully, depending on the dice for the order and what outcomes I get. I could do that, and I think that would be a lot of fun because, oh my god, bracing for chaos. It's going to be an absolute shit show and glorious. So I hope that you're excited for it. I cannot wait. I think I've done a fucking number on these prompts. They're not bad. They're all achievable. Just my creative interpretations of them. Yeah, I'm proud. Those are my main community focus. My side quest, I would like to retry Read Your Bookshelf challenge for this year, which is created by Chantel Reads All Day. They've gone back to a simpler version. I think it's just one word which you then can associate however you see fit, which makes it a lot easier to fit in my reads. Number 2 is Roadhouse Readathon, which is created by The Creepy Geek, and I just honestly went in and went, yeah, here, this assigns, cool, excellent, throughout the year. I didn't actually read for it. There is one book that I'm reading for it because that was the only prompt I couldn't get fulfilled, so that was for December. So I'm very happy with that. Number 3 is I want to try some Storygraph challenges. So I've got Tracy's Read the World. I have Randomize-ish, your TBR. I think that was everything. There might have been another one in there as well. But I've also created a Storygraph challenge for Bookish peeps to be able to keep myself accountable for that. And I've made it open, so if anyone does want to join for that as well, that's there, which I'm excited for. It's more to hold me accountable, and we'll just see what happens. And then 4, I want to participate in a Year of Goober. I love the Goober Readathon, which is created by the Pujo Buddies Book Club. Oh my god, I don't think I got that title right, but Joshikura is where I found. I just want to participate. I don't think it's going to be too hard to be able to slot in my reads. I just need to keep an eye on the prompts as we go. So those are the direct relation to reading bookish challenges for 2025. I am so fucking excited for this. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to start my Read It or Unhaul It series. I can't wait to start my series. I'm really pumped to do these random picks on top of my TBR. Admittedly, if like, you know, Clear comes out and says, all right, prompts are going to be finish a series, hit these goals, I'm just going to tie those together and not actually say the book's in the TBR. I might give ideas, but it will be open to what gets pulled, whatever the case may be. But I want to ask, I have another jar and I have pink paper instead of yellow. Should I make this the Bookish peeps sort of challenges that I can do independently? So if it's like Danielle's of learn a new board game or Kara's to vlog trying a new hobby, not Ellie Miners because that's sort of on a monthly basis. So putting in the books themselves or the Bookish prompts and then putting in the challenges that I can do. So the Wordle for a month, the daily affirmations, that sort of thing. Should I put that on these pink slips and put it into this jar to be able to pull? Or should I make this my 2025 TBR? Should I put my 2025 TBR into this jar and use the pink slips so I can differentiate if I need to pick a book from my 2025 or 2024 or continue to use up the yellows? I don't know. I would love to get your advice on that, and I will also talk to my patrons about that. This is weird to say. So with that segue, I have 3 life challenges. I did have personal challenges and I'm genuinely so impressed with how these have aligned. So I will probably still continue to do some personal challenges, like it's sort of, now's the perfect time to tie in with Crystal's recipe challenge to be able to work on healthier lunches, getting back into exercise, doing a low bar and a high bar for my routines and things like that. Sort of developing my confidence, stepping outside my comfort zone, that sort of thing was some personal goals that I set for this year. And it has been amazing, the shift in myself. So I'm happy to set some more, but general, my biggest life goal for this year, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be to buy a house. Like, Ash and I are actively looking and it's amazing to think that I'm at a point that this is actually possible. That will also mean decluttering and doing all the things necessary with that, and there might be days that I'll go live with my patrons or open to the public and just sort of have a declutter day and be like, hey, this is a random knickknack that I can't decide if I want to get rid of. What do y'all think? And then you can be like, bitch, get rid of it, it's a knickknack. Or, oh, that's really cute. And then, you know, just go from there with that sort of thing. So that's the biggest life goal, and that will have a massive impact on my capabilities as well as my finances. I'm gonna have to cancel my subscriptions for StreamYard or at least reduce it so it's not $60 something a month. Adobe, I'm paying $50 a month. Canva, I'm paying $17 a month. I can reduce those things. So if you notice that things go differently from how I've currently got it, just know that the technology supporting me may have gone up in smoke. But my second goal with that is to aim for balance. I want to be able to balance my life, my work, my reading, my relationships, my Patreons and my friends and my socials, all of that. I want to aim for balance, and I want to be able to check in if I feel off kilter or if someone thinks I'm off kilter. I really struggle to be able to know in the moment that things are lopsided. To have that check-in will be really, really important to make sure that I'm focusing on the right things at the right time. And then number 3 is to do my Bookish peeps, but do the life challenges. So I've got a plethora of options and things and hobbies that I'm going to need to try. If anyone, please, for the love of all that is holy, has any hobby suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I'm desperate. I need to know. I do not do the hobbies. My hobbies are reading. Help. I can do cross stitch. I have tried crochet, I have tried knitting, neither of those were successful. I've diamond dotted and that went okay. I jigsaw puzzle. Any other suggestions would be greatly appreciated. And that's it. That's my goal. So I know that this has been an obscenely long video for a goals video, but I had a lot of things I wanted to just hash out because I'm excited to talk about them. I'm excited to do things, and I needed to like get into that brain space to be able to articulate it in the way that I wanted it to. So I know that I have a lot of goals. I know that I have a lot of spinning plates, but I think the way I've structured everything, I can make this work. I can do the things. I'm going into 2025 really feeling like I've got my foundation underneath me. And that's so weird to feel. I know that I was so excited to get into 2024 and it's been a fantastic year for me. I've done things and enjoyed life in a whole new way. I've tried new things and really stepped outside my comfort zone, which was a massive, massive thing for me. And I've still got a lot of work to do on myself, but I feel like 2025 could really shape up to be one of my best years. I'm also turning 30 next year. So I'll turn 30 in February and then we'll see how we go with that. 2024 has been a really enjoyable year of exploration into who I am, what I'm capable of, what I can do in the sense of personal fortitude and capabilities, not necessarily in the sense of hobbies. Whereas 2025, I feel like I'm going to be going in guns a-blazing and I'm really excited for that. So I hope you'll stick around to see how these goals eventuate. I might tack on to my 2024 goals review and talk about my personal goals there and sort of say like, hey, these were the ones that I had and these are the same ones that I'm continuing to go into for next year, to give you an sort of more overview on my personal goals. But those are my current goals. And I'm so excited to go into 2025. I'm raring to go. I've got my calendar sorted. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a really good time. So let me know in the comments how you're feeling. I know 2024 hasn't been the best year for a lot of people and my heart, my heart goes to everyone, but thank you for the support and love and care that you've shown me, and I hope that we can continue to just share the love and support to everyone that needs it as well at this time. So sending all my love and big cuddles to anyone that needs it. And yeah, let me know in the comments how you're traveling, and if you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe. I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!